Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Bernard Celaya, the Compliance Supervisor for the Industrial Commission of Arizona, and today we will be discussing workers' compensation insurance and the required posters. Here's our agenda for today. We will cover carrier responsibility, who needs coverage, notice to employees posting, employees notice of rejection form, employees notice to revoke form, sole proprietor independent contractor form, work exposure to MRSA, spinal meningitis, or TB posting, report of significant exposure to bodily fluids, Fair Wages and Healthy Families Act minimum wage posting, Fair Wages and Healthy Families Act sick leave posting, and employee safety and health protection posting. Carrier responsibility. So the carrier must report coverage and all changes to the NCCI. That's the National Council on Compensation Insurance. The carrier must report address or other communication changes to the Industrial Commission. All written policies must be reported within 5 days. Who needs work comp coverage? So for any employer in Arizona that has employees under ARS 23-901, domestic servants are exempt, and we do have a practice alert. A 1099 alone does not make an independent contractor. Federal independent contractors laws differ from Arizona independent contractor laws. When in doubt, consult with your insurance broker, agent, or a certified workers' comp attorney. You can also refer to ARS 23-902, and we do have an amended statute, ARS 23-901, where the LLC policy requirements are effective July 1st, 2019. So this is the first of the required postings that an employer must post, and it is available in our ICA manual under ICA posters on our ICA website at azica.gov. Covered under the statute, Title 23, Chapter 6, unless you specifically reject the act, you are covered. And for all of these posters, these do come in English and in Spanish. What if it's not posted? Employee can sue the employer directly under the liability portion of the policy. This must be posted in a visible, conspicuous place. So for all posters, it's highly recommended that we post these all in a common place or conspicuous place, a break room or something of that nature, lunchroom, something to that effect. Rejecting the act. So this is a form for rejection of terms of the Arizona Workers' Compensation Law. In Arizona, this can be rejected by using this form. Fill it out and give it to your employer, and they will give it to the carrier within 5 days of receiving it. These are only valid from the date going forward. If your employee was injured last week and they don't like the way the employer is treating them, and they want to reject the coverage and file suit, they can file it today, but it is only effective moving forward. So in retrospect, if I filed it today and got injured today, I would not be covered. What if you wanted to revoke the rejection? So an injured worker can do that. They can change their mind and now want to be covered. This would be filed with the employer, and they have to give it to the carrier within 5 days of receipt. It's important that you fill out this form completely. Sole proprietor independent contractor form. This is also found on our website, and you can reference 23-901 and 23-902. 902 is more specific on who is an independent contractor. So if you have any additional questions, you can contact the insurance broker, agent, or workers' comp attorney. Our next poster is the work exposure to bodily fluids. This is for HIV, hepatitis C, and if exposed, it needs to be reported in writing and blood tested in less than 10 days. And must be tested within 30 days. Results for the test need to be completed in less than 30 days, also with a negative result. According to OSHA standards, employers need to pay for testing and continue to test for up to 18 months for HIV and 7 months for Hep C. If positive, the employee would have 1 year to file a claim. If a claim is notified, deny and indicate that it is an exposure issue. Per OSHA, the employer will continue to test as required. And again, this is in Spanish as well. MRSA. So for the work exposure to MRSA, spinal meningitis, or TB. For MRSA, the report must be in writing within 30 days and must be diagnosed within 15 days of that report. For spinal meningitis, the report in writing must be within 10 days and diagnose 2 to 18 days of exposure. For TB, 10 days and diagnose within 12 weeks of exposure. So this is the report. The report must be filed in writing. This is not a claim. It's just a report that is filed with the insured. They keep the original copy, give one to the employee and the carrier, and the deadlines are outlined on this report. Our next poster is the Arizona minimum wage, which beginning January 21st of 2024 will be $14.35 per hour. Now this is changing constantly every year, the beginning of the year, so make sure you are updating those posters. Again in Spanish. The Fair Wages and Healthy Families Act. So for this, we have 1 hour of paid sick time for every 30 hours worked. And then employers with less than 15 employees accrue 24 hours per year. If you have 15 or more employees, you accrue or use 40 hours per year. Now, employers can use higher accrual rates and use limits if they choose to. This also is the slide for in Spanish. And the last slide that we have for the posters are the Employee Safety and Health Protection poster. This is a right to notify ADOSH of workplace hazards. They can ask to be left confidential and also have a right to have ADOSH inspect a work location and can also participate in the inspection. If you feel that they are discriminated for reporting, they can file a complaint with ADOSH or the U.S. Secretary of Labor. It informs they have the right to see any citations and they must be posted near the violation. Time frame given for correction by the employer, and right to the copy of medical records for exposure to toxic and harmful substances or conditions. And again in Spanish. And this concludes our session for insurance and posters. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 602-542-4661. Thank you.